I'm a youth educator here at Soil-Born Farms. We are an organic farm located in Rancho Cordova, California. We have been here on this land for about 20 years, and we are so excited to show you around today. So come on, let's go. I'm heading down into our river field now. This has usually been our main field for growing, but over the last couple seasons, as we're moving into our other areas on the farm, this area is just growing a little bit of food at the moment. But it's growing one of the best things here in Sacramento, tomatoes. Come check it out with me. I almost forgot to mention, it's fruit season. Come closer. What do you think this is? It's an orange stone fruit. Oh, that came right off. This one got pecked a little bit by a bird, but that's okay. It's an orange stone fruit, and it's pretty fuzzy. Should I take a bite? Mmm, it's a peach. Delicious. Come check out more stuff. Oh my gosh, another fruit is growing here. Now this fruit is a little bit different from this fruit. What makes something a fruit? Usually a fruit is a plant part that has seeds inside. So that would include tomatoes. Soil-Born grows pretty awesome tomatoes. This is a red slicer. Let's go see what else we've got in here. Look how tall our tomato plants are. I myself am about 5 feet tall. So these plants must be about 7 feet tall, which is so cool for a tomato. We grow our tomatoes by trellising them. So we have these poles here, and as the tomatoes are growing, we add strings to encourage them to grow tall, tall, tall. And they are pretty happy about it. Check out these. These are some of our heirloom tomatoes. Look how beautiful that is. All those nice colors. Wow. I see one ripe tomato and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unripe tomatoes. We're gonna have some pretty delicious food here soon. This right here is one of my favorite tomatoes. Called a Berkeley tie-dye, Berkeley pink tie-dye. You see these pink parts and the green stripes? Tomatoes are so cool. Now, in this field, we have our tomatoes, but we also are growing the other members of the nightshade family. Do you know what nightshades are? They include things like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. Come on, let's go see. All right, here's one baby eggplant. Now this eggplant has a little bit of insect damage on it, but that is okay. Because we are an organic farm, we don't use any pesticides, which means sometimes we have to share our produce with the bugs. But as long as it still grows big and tasty, we don't mind it at all. So over here, we have our peppers growing. And you might notice that we have this shade cloth on top of our peppers. Well, just like you or I could get sunburned if we were in the sun too long, peppers and other delicate summer fruits can get sunburned if they are exposed to too much sun. Now, we don't have a whole lot of shade here in our farm field, so we have to create shade for our peppers. And they sure do like it. Come on in. This is an orange pepper. You see, we check it out. Here, we've got spicy peppers. Whoop. Nice. And look right there, more eggplant. Oh, I bet. Oh, nice. Check it out over here. There's two different varieties of eggplant. Well, a lot more than that, but two main varieties. We have these long, skinny eggplants that you might see in a lot of Asian cooking, a lot of Asian cuisine. And then we have these bigger, more oval, round-shaped eggplants that you'd see in a lot of Italian cuisine. So that's about it for this field, but we've got a couple other places to show you. So let's get going. Here come our farmers, off to do some work. Check out all these piles behind me. This is our farm's recycling zone. We try to waste as little as possible here on our organic farm and use our resources to the best of our abilities. So, anytime we have plant waste, we put it in one of these piles to use later on. Come check it out. This pile right here is our compost pile. Whenever we have extra plants, squash, leaves, things like that, we put them all in this big pile to decompose. It's a pretty big word. That just means that it breaks down. And over here we have finished compost. So, this dirt right here used to look just like that other pile. This is recycled plant material, and that means it is full of vitamins and nutrients that'll help the plants on our farm grow healthy and strong. It's pretty cool. Here's a crop that's usually pretty tall, but is still kind of young. See, does anyone recognize this vegetable? It's corn. This corn is still pretty young. You can see that the corn silks are still a little green. When you get corn in the grocery store, these are usually all brown and matted up, and that's how you know that the corn is ripe. So we have to wait a little longer for this corn to ripen up. But it sure is gonna be good. We've made it to our creek field. And this year, in this whole field, we're growing nothing but cucurbits. That's a pretty silly word, but it basically just means members of the squash family. So right here, the plants closest to me are our winter squash plants. They're just starting out. They're very green and very spirally. If you come close, you can see these beautiful yellow flowers. And everywhere that you see a flower will be soon a fruit. In a few months, when it hits fall, we'll have all of these amazing winter squash plants like gourds and pumpkins, kabocha squash and butternut, all kinds of stuff growing here. But in the springtime, we had artichokes in this field, and now we found a leftover artichoke plant and all those seeds. Looks like deer hair. Oops, I'm planting artichokes. Today, the farmers are getting ready to plant some lettuce mix. It's called Salanova. Even though it's still really hot outside, it's gonna start cooling down soon, which means it's time to start getting our fall and winter vegetables in the ground. So we've got all this little tiny lettuce plants, and they're gonna grow to be about the size of 2 hands, and we'll harvest that for some salad. It'll be delicious. Look at these beans. Whoa. So these are called red noodle yard-long beans because they're so long. Look at, oh my gosh, these beans are as long as my arm. They're so delicious. Oh, and they're so fun. We've made it to where it all begins. Over here is our seeding area, our greenhouse area, and what we call the hardening off area. During cooler seasons, we start all of the plants on the farm in this greenhouse. The greenhouse helps make sure that the plants stay warm and toasty when it's cold outside. But during the summer, it often gets well over 100 degrees in there, which is way too hot for plants. So instead, we've been starting them outside. Come on over and check this out. We've got some little onions growing, little tiny onions. And over here, we've got a beautiful basil plant. Look at those flowers. The bees are going to be so happy. We've got some succulents. And we've got basil growing. Oh, basil smells so good. This is our seeding area. This is where we take soil and seeds and maybe baby plants, and this is where we pot all that stuff up to get it ready to go. Soil-Born Farms is an urban farm. That means we are located right in the middle of the city of Rancho Cordova. If you've ever driven here before, you may have noticed that you're driving through houses and shops, and then you pull up to our gate, and this amazing urban wilderness opens up for you. We have all kinds of trees and animals. We're right along the American River, so we get all kinds of wild critters like coyotes and sometimes snakes on our farm. And our job as the protectors of this space is to make sure that we are producing food in a way that is healthy for our community and healthy for the environment that we're in. In order to do that, we use only organic practices. Organic farming means that we don't use any pesticides, we don't use any herbicides, and we don't use any non-organic fertilizers. Everything we do is as natural as possible.